Let's go to Psalm 23:5. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. I would say that's prosperity. Here we see that preparing a table before you, by the way, in the ancient East, preparing a table before you meant I'm going to provide for you. You are now my responsibility. I'm providing at my table for you. Remember, David took Saul's grandson and set him at the table, Jonathan's son, and set him, he was crippled because they were running from the palace at one point, and the nurse dropped him and he was crippled. Now, cripples did not sit at the table of the king. They didn't do that. Lepers, cripples, there were certain things that were not even allowed in the temple of the Lord. Certain conditions. And David sat him at his table. Why? Because he had a covenant with Jonathan. And he said, I'm going to be good to everything that concerns Jonathan. So God, to set a table, that meant that Mephibosheth sat at the table with David and had all the king's table at his disposal. He sat with privilege. He sat there with more than enough, because you know King David's table was stacked. He had brisket. He had the whole thing, John. Okay? He had Texas barbecue, because you know it's not heavenly unless you got some of that, right? But he had everything available to him. Now, when the king invites you to his table, what he's saying is, my table is lavish. I've prepared a banquet before you, in other words. I've prepared to celebrate you in front of your enemies, in the midst of your enemies. In other words, God doesn't say, wait till you get to heaven and out of the reach of your enemy. In the middle of your enemies trying to come against you, I'm going to go ahead and prepare my table for you. And they're going to watch you eat at my table, and there's nothing they can do about it. This is what God's promise is to us. This is prosperity, by the way. Prospering us in the area of safety and protection. When he provides for you a table, not only is that abundance, not only is that provision, but in the presence of those who want to destroy you, that's perfect safety.